July, 2054 AD. The Earth was caught in a great battle between unknown alien forces. Their weapons were terrifying and powerful beyond human reckoning. Our planet was overwhelmed, its surface reduced to ash and rubble in the blink of an eye. The coalition government knew the war was coming. In response, they prepared the Earth-Life Colonization Project, Project Exodus. Interstellar arcs were launched all across the planet, from every major city on Earth. Bravely, we leapt from our cradle, our home for the last 4.5 billion years. But most of the arcs never even made it out of the atmosphere. Only a small handful managed to escape. Among them was our ship, the White Whale. After leaving Earth behind, we spent 2 years wandering in space, searching. We thought of ourselves as the lucky ones, the pioneers who would settle a new world. But our past caught up with us, literally. The alien blitz was unrelenting. If not for the efforts of a lone hero, we would never have survived. Our ship took heavy damage. We lost control. With our flight systems down, the White Whale was pulled into the gravitational field of a nearby planet, its hull shattering and breaking to pieces as we plummeted toward the surface. Since then, 2 months have passed.
Wow, what a way to start a game. What's up everybody, once again my name is Matt and welcome to Let's Play Xenoblade Chronicles X. I know that may come as a surprise to some of you guys, as I've said several times in the past that I wouldn't LP this game just due to its length, but that was before I played it. You see, I was lucky enough to get the Japanese version of this game about a month ago, and I started playing through it casually just to see how the game was, and during that time, which was, you know, roughly like 8 or 9 hours I would say, I sort of fell in love with the game. It's a ton of fun, and probably one of the best games on the Wii U, so I really couldn't help but LP this. I don't really care how long it takes for me to finish. I'm in it for the long haul, and hopefully you guys are going to stick with me through it all. Anyways though, if you didn't already notice, yes, I'm speeding up the character creation process as to not waste too much time, because I really just want to get to the game as fast as possible, but I still want to show off this in case some of you guys are interested in all the different options and menus, so hopefully by the time I'm done with this sentence, I'll be done making something that looks as close to me as I think I can get it. But again, I'm not very good at making characters, so it might just sort of look generic. Okay, and with that, I think I've got my character. This is what I sort of look like maybe if I was like an anime or something. It's not really close to what I actually look like, but it's good enough, so let's get to the game.
Attention, external access confirmed. Disengaging stasis in 10 seconds. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Releasing hatch. Please stand clear.
Hey there. Looks like you're all in one piece. Careful. Just take it nice and slow, okay? Your senses will need time to reactivate. Your pod is the only one around that landed intact. Good thing I found you. My name's Elma. You want to tell me yours? You don't even remember your own name? It must be the stasis hangover. That's not good. Just try and focus, all right?
Alright, so we have the option to name our character. I'm just gonna go with my name, Matt, because, you know, that's my name. Makes sense, doesn't it?
Good, there we go. What else you remember? It'll come. In the meantime, I'll get you up to speed here as best I can. How are your limbs? Can you move?
Alright, so we have our first decision. We can show her that our body is working fine or we're still disoriented. Let's just nod.
We'll take it easy while you shake the stasis out of your system. One step at a time, all right? First things first, you'll be needing a weapon. There you go. All right, let's get going.
Alright, so this is the prologue, Awakening, and now we are finally in control of our character. So, real quick, just to sum up what this is saying, basically, follow the yellow arrow. Good things happen when you follow the yellow arrow, so keep that in mind when you're exploring the planet Mira, because this place is absolutely massive, as you'll come to find out. Anyways, looks like we found something.
Most of the white whale's life pods didn't survive the crash, like this one. You're one of the lucky few. Right. You don't even remember the white whale, do you? You know, the L002? The ship we escaped Earth on? You remember Earth, right? Planet Earth. Your homeworld. Or rather, it used to be anyway. Unfortunately, it was caught in a battle between two alien forces. And destroyed. Ring any bells? Don't feel bad. It's one memory I'd like to forget. I know. It's been following me for a while now. I didn't want to alarm you, but we're going to need to defend ourselves. You up to the task?
Indeed I am, Elma. Alright, so we are going to get our first taste of combat in this game, and combat in Xenoblade Chronicles X is one of my favorite things. So first and foremost, we have to target our enemy by pressing R, then we can press A to initiate the attack. Now, this is an action RPG, so you'll notice just by walking around, strafing around the enemy, our character will automatically auto-attack the enemy for, you know, moderate amounts of damage, nothing too amazing. To the left of our main attack bar, we have two arts. Now, these are for ranged arts. We can use these they're sort of like special attacks that deal more damage than our usual auto attacks. And we'll talk more about combat later on, but for now, that was just like a nice little taste of it.
You're not half bad. There's plenty of work back in the city for someone who knows how to handle a weapon, you know.
Alright, so we have our second decision. We can show interest in finding work, or we can be depressed at the idea of work. So you know what, let's show interest in finding work.
Then you're interested. In that case, I might have just the job for you. But anyway, we can talk more details later. For now, let's keep moving.
Sounds like a good plan to me. I would love to get out of this rain. Alright, so for defeating that first enemy, we're going to get some items. We're just going to take it all. There's really no reason not to. Like, maybe later on in the game you can stop taking the easier enemy drop items, but generally speaking, you have a ton of inventory space, so might as well just take them all. So this is a field action. You're going to see a lot of these throughout the entirety of the game. Go up to them, press A a bunch, and you'll succeed the field action. You'll get like some experience, some credits, and some items. So generally speaking, if you see a yellow square on your map, try to get to it. Good things will happen if you do. And yeah, we actually leveled up off of that, which is pretty crazy. Also, these weird like floating blue crystals, they're also items that you can just like collect randomly as you're walking around the surface of the planet. There's really no reason not to collect them, but at the same time, you really don't need to go out of your way to pick them up. Alright, so the game wants us to follow the yellow arrow and get to like the next main plot point, but while we're here, we might as well explore the planet Mira, since we have access to a lot of low-level enemies right off the bat, and this is a good place to get some pretty easy early experience. So let's talk about combat some more. Basically, you can initiate combat with pretty much anything you want to. Some enemies will actively try to fight you, other enemies will actively try to avoid fighting you. So while you're fighting enemies, you'll notice that our special abilities that we use have cooldowns. So every time you use them, it's going to take a certain amount of time before you can use them again. By the way, they're called arts officially, not special abilities. Also, yeah, quick time events will happen during the combat. Try to nail those as much as possible. If you fail them, generally speaking, you'll take more damage, or various other things can happen in the battle. But the main thing I want to talk about is, oh yeah, when you level up too, by the way, you get access to more art. So now we have a second art on our left side, and that is actually a buff defense art. So we can put that on one of our characters, and that will buff our defense. But going back to the cooldowns on our arts, you'll notice that each art has two specific cooldowns. There is the general cooldown that will allow us to use the art again, but if we keep letting that art just sort of like sit there and charge up, you'll notice there is a green outer ring around that art. If that charges up all the way, your art will do even more damage than it normally would. So there's a lot of dynamics of the combat in this game, and it's really interesting, and it takes a while to get used to, I think, if you're not used to like playing games like this. But once you sort of learn what everything does, especially your arts, because you will be getting a lot of different arts, and they all have like unique abilities. So learn your arts, learn what they do, get used to the combat, and you'll be able to go through this game no problem. However, you do want to pick and choose your fights carefully. Generally speaking, you don't want to fight things that are a lot bigger than you, because they will wreck your face.
The rain's starting to let up, just in time for sunrise. Follow me. I promise you're gonna love this. wild, huh? They're all indigenous, as far as we can tell. We need to learn to play nice with these guys if we're going to try and coexist together. We call this planet Mira. You won't find it on any star chart. But it's our new home. Recognize the habitat unit? That's where we're headed. Watch yourself. That first step's a doozy. We can jump if you like. You could handle the fall. But the indigents down there are another story. Some big, some mean, all nasty. Given our options, the high road here would be the safer way to go, relatively speaking. That said, whichever way you want to go, I'll follow your lead. You decide.
Okay, so the choice is ours. Oh, by the way, yeah, you can sprint by pressing the left thumbstick down, or auto run by pressing R and then pressing B. I really don't use auto run all that often unless like I'm traveling really long distances, but it's there if you want it. Anyways, let's check out this building because it will be very, very useful to us. It's got the little clock icon on your mini-map. Basically, if you check this, it'll allow you to manipulate the time in the game. So right now it's like 8:25 in the morning. If we wanted to, we could change it to like 11:30, the middle of the night, 3 a.m., etc., etc. And that's good because certain enemies will appear or disappear depending on what time it is, and you can use that to make hunting quests a little bit easier. So keep that in mind. And speaking of hunting, we really don't need to kill any of these enemies along our way right now, but like I said, it is a good idea to level up a little bit, get some free experience before you get to like the main start of the game. That way you're just sort of prepared a little bit more. While we're going though, I do not want to mislead you guys. If I seem informational right now, everything I know about this game, I was sort of taught by someone else, so shout out to LiveRax7. When I was streaming the Japanese version of this game, he came to like every one of my streams and pretty much gave me the lowdown of this game because I was playing through it myself with like no knowledge of anything Xenoblade. This dude stopped by, and within like 40 minutes, I learned more about this game than I did in like the entire first like hour or two of just playing by myself. So yeah, I'm not exactly knowledgeable in the whole Xenoblade universe. In fact, I haven't actually beaten Xenoblade Chronicles for the Wii or the 3DS. So this is kind of like my first exposure to the game in a long, like, play sort of form. I did play a couple hours of Xenoblade Chronicles on the Wii, but, I don't know, for whatever reason, I just, like, stopped playing and then never picked it up again, and that might make some of you guys upset, I know. Everyone says it's a great game, and they say I should go back and finish it, but I just, like, never do, so I really have no excuses for not playing it, and oh my gosh, yeah, I just realized we kinda got into a fight with two enemies, and I did not want to do that, so I'm a little bit low on HP. I'm just gonna hang back here for a little bit, have sort of Elma tank most of the damage and aggro the enemy, and hopefully, we can just, like, survive this fight. That was not at all what I wanted to do. Jeez, that would stink to literally die in, like, the first video before I even make my way to like the central hub of the game. So we're gonna try and avoid doing that if we can. And, oh good, we actually got a healing. That is perfect then. So now we're pretty much back up to a decent amount of HP. We can go in, attack this guy if we want to, but I think he's pretty much dead. Yeah, so we're good to go. Not bad. We survived that fight, even though it did look kind of dire. And we got some level ups. Not bad, not bad at all. Also, another thing a couple of you guys might be upset about is, yeah, I did not choose Shulk's voice actor. I kind of wanted to choose something else because I figured like every single LP of this game is more than likely going to choose Shulk, so I figured I'd choose like a different voice just because, I don't know, I like the sound of it, and it's different than like everything else.
Looks a lot bigger up close, doesn't it? And this was just the habitat unit. The white whale was one hell of a ship. Until it all came crashing down, at least. That's the west gate. It's closed off now for security reasons. But we've repurposed a freight elevator that will get us inside. Rexes. Riled. We can't leave them roaming here. Not this close to the gate. We're gonna have to take them down. You ready?
Okay, so here's our first real challenge and a taste of what long, drawn-out combat between multiple enemies is like. Now, a few more things that I would like to point out about the combat. If you pay attention to your arts bar on the bottom, you'll notice that sometimes they do begin to glow and blink. Now, I'm not entirely sure what that means, so please feel free to inform me in the comments below, but I'm fairly certain that when that happens, if you use that art ability, it'll sort of attack in conjunction with one of your party members in order to target the enemy's weakness and maybe like topple it or something like that. Not entirely sure yet. I'm sure I'll figure it out as the game goes on, but please feel free to tell me in the comments down below. Also in combat, you can press the X button to swap between ranged mode and melee mode, and that's good because later on you'll get arts that pretty much can only be used in one of the two modes. As of right now, we only have one art that we need to be in melee mode for, so ranged mode is really our best option, although later on in the game, at least from what I played in the Japanese version, melee mode gets a lot of very, very powerful arts. Anyways, though, we took those guys down no problem.
It's a shame we had to settle near so much wildlife. Luckily, some species aren't so hostile, but they aren't necessarily friendly either. I've come to learn that there's a fine line between self-defense and provoking a fight. We need to walk that line. All right, let's head in. Who knows, maybe seeing the inside will jog your memory.
And that's exactly what I mean by picking your fights carefully in this game. So, yeah, you don't want to go up to like some huge monster who's like level 50 and fight him as like a level 3 person. You're probably gonna die. Even if you fight monsters that are on like the same level as you, if they're bigger than you, chances are they will do more damage than you and just like completely destroy you. So be very, very careful in what you fight, especially early on. So yeah, we do need to go up the elevator to get inside the city, and I think we can do so by talking to this guy. Oh, hello, you must be the new friend that Colonel Elma mentioned in her report. Having just woken up after all that time, I'm sure you're dying to get home and take a shower. Unfortunately, the west gate is closed at the moment. If you want out of the city, you'll need to use the elevator at the top of the stairs. They'll probably open the gate soon, thanks to the great work you guys did killing the monsters that were causing all that trouble. But until then, you'll have to forgive the inconvenience. Please understand. Alright, no problem, buddy. So really, all we gotta do is get inside the city. But you know what? We're gonna do that in the next episode. So if you guys enjoyed this part, a like rating would be greatly appreciated. If you want to see more, consider subscribing. But once again, guys, my name is Matt. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.